being in the show, it's a bit of a whirlwind. Like we were saying just before, it's insane backstage. You get swept up in. It's almost like you strap into the roller coaster and you just hang on for dear life and follow it through, and then eventually it stops. It's kind of crazy.
It's almost like having two shows. It's what everyone sees out the front, and then there's a whole nother backstage show where you need to get to your cues to make the front look seamless, but also a whole nother myriad of characters we've made up backstage that have their own storylines.
Their
and
own
plots.
very, very full lives. Yeah, yeah.
So it's really like being in two. It's pretty wonderful.
You're now smiling and happy and relaxed. How do you not take that vibe home with you? How do you let go of that, the heaviness of the Voldemort world?
Well, I mean, I know for myself, just over time and with practice being in theatre, you get very good at the switch on and the switch off. Like when you're in and what we were talking about before, the characters you have side stage, these are also, they're tools you develop so you don't get stuck in what's happening out there. So you can come off and you lock eyes with someone and then you've got a stupid voice you do with them or a little silly high five or whatever, and that sort of brings you in and out of it sort of, I guess, safely for your own head and
Yeah, it's a good
like that.
D-roll practice that you develop as actors when you do a lot of work that you can't take it home with you every night. Because what if you're not in a wonderful magical world? What if you're doing a really serious show that there's, based on true events, or there's real tragedy, or there's murder, or you can't take that home with you. So you develop really good skills. And Matt's absolutely right. You quite often develop a routine with your backstage fun. And so whenever you see it, you might make the same noise at the same person at the same time every day. So it's a really good way to break whatever you've just done and move through.
And even what we were doing just before at the start of the number, you saw backstage, there's a bit where there's a dance class that takes place for anyone who's not on stage for the first half of the number, and we have silly little cape movements and gestures we do to each other, and that's crew, dresses, cast, all in a big circle, sort of just dancing around like idiots together to sort of shake it up for ourselves. Yeah.
And these costumes, how helpful are they in when you put those on? How do they help you feel in character?
Exponentially.
Yeah, they're incredibly informative.
And these
very
particularly,
rigid.
yes, these particularly are they're really weighty, so they physically change you. Your posture has to change. We also have a strap underneath here because they're so heavy that helps keep them on, but it also keeps your shoulders back. So
Can
you
just turn around so we can
Sure.
show everyone
Yeah,
just
check
how
out some of
they.
that detail there.
so they physically transform you, but also this is not something I would ever wear in real life.
No.
I mean, I would love to, let's be honest, but
I don't own anything nearly this expensive.
so you feel very different. You feel other. You don't feel like yourself. It's not Matt
Yeah.
and Naomi walking down the road to get a coffee. You feel very of a time and a place.
And just, the pressure it sort of puts on your chest, it does put you right in the rigidity of the alternate timeline that we
Yeah.
find ourselves in this part of the show. It's
It's
very
unlike-
militaristic,
yeah.
and these certainly help with that.
Yeah.
Especially not being able to move, that helps.
Yeah.
And for a play, there's a lot of choreography in this play. Does it help for the performers who've got a dance background, a musical theatre background? Does that help in the precision required for the choreography?
I don't think it helps or hinders. It's because the movement for this show is so specific to this piece. Stephen, who was out here several months ago putting the new version of the show together, was very, very certain that he wants to work with the people he's got, and he works within all of their abilities, to the absolute limits of what those people can do. So I don't think the whatever experience you come to this piece with, it's such informative story-based choreography that I don't think a career in dance or music theatre necessarily helps or hinders. It's more just about taking on the movement, believing in it and committing to it, and that's we're lucky with the company that we've got, that everyone is there 1000% every night.
And I also think, that being said, I also think our company are particular levels of skill. I think most of our company have a lot of formal training, have a lot of experience behind them. So we can start at a level that's really great, but it's not necessarily that stuff. It's just the experience that everyone already has to come through, and then have someone like Stephen Hoggett go, great, we're going to push that. And you'd be like, I can't do that. And then you're doing it. You're like, I'm doing it.
Or he watches you do something silly on the side and he's like, I like that, it's going in. Yeah.
This show is quite literally one of a kind. We've never had a long-running, spectacular stage show that isn't a musical. It's just a play ever in Australia. Like it's quite amazing to be part of such a special piece of history, so you should see it for that alone. Other than the fact that it is incredible, the magic is incredible, the lighting, the sound, the performances are really truly amazing to see it. If you've seen the 2-part and haven't seen the one, someone who did come and has seen them both likened it to this. The 2-part was a Bentley and the 1-part is a Ferrari. So I thought, oh yeah, that sounds good. I think it's like fast and smart and sassy, and you should see it once you've seen the stately, luxurious, extravagant version. Why not?
Yeah, I don't. All I'd want to say to people is just it's such an event. It's one of a kind. It's not like anything you're going to see anywhere else. You can't see it anywhere else. Not in. Well, I think that maybe somewhere else in the Southern Hemisphere at the moment, but magic doesn't travel well. It's happening here. And the ephemeral nature of that is so wonderful, and you want to be able to say, I saw it when, because a show like this, it goes up and it doesn't come back around for quite a long time, because they're such one-off Ben-Hur style events.
Yeah.
So I just think it's one of those really special events that if you miss it,
Don't miss it.
Like, you don't want to. It's a part of Melbourne. It's a part of the history of the Princess Theatre.
It's a part of the history of Harry Potter magic that's happened worldwide.
Yeah.
Get down to it if you're here. Come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
We'll be
we
here.
can now. Theatre was closed for like 2
I
years.
know,
Come back to the
come.
theatre.